Owen.
Hey guys.
Your beautiful face. Okay, we can hear you. I mean, look at that pretty girl.
Okay, so I have to
so
break.
Jen again, Canada. So we had Australia, now we're going to Canada. Truly international, and another one of my beautiful sideline friends. I love that. I don't know anybody in other countries, but I got to meet Jen the first time that I traveled out of country to Canada a couple of years ago, and she was a beautiful hostess to me there. So I'm honored to get to introduce you today. Okay. So Jennifer is an NMD 50 Club, as well as a busy mom of 2, and she lives in Barrie, Ontario. And if you're like me, I'm like, where's that? Canada. He's also a fitness trainer, an amazing fitness trainer, and Pilates instructor, and she's been teaching for over 20 years and truly thrives on helping people feel great about themselves. I love that. You see this personality that comes out in people? We want to help others be the best they can be. I love it. So we're doing some fun facts, and I asked Jennifer, I was like, okay, give me something that is funny about you. So I've got a fun fact. Here we go. A fun fact about Jen that you may not know is that she used to train Steve Page of the Bare Naked Ladies and went on tour with them for a few weeks in the United States in 2001. She's a good trainer. I don't know. All right. So I'm going to turn it over to Jen Owen, and I'm going to meet myself. All right, girl.
All right, thanks so much. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Valerie, oh my gosh, you just blew my socks off. Thank you. What an honor to be a part of this. Okay, so, I'm not even going to go through my whole little intro because Courtney did all that, but I will say that I have 2 beautiful Juice Plus babies who I just adore, and a very, very supportive husband in this journey that I have here. And I was trying to think about how to put this together, and I want to kind of share it. I want you to think about how this looks for yourself in terms of where you are. So whether you're a distributor or whether you're a national marketing director, as I share, think looking down and think looking up. So because this is a journey from my D to NMD. So I hope that it says my internet's unstable. So I was first introduced to Juice Plus about 16 years ago from a 17-year-old diabetic client. So she was just a CHS kid, okay? And I think that that's... They didn't have any ties to Juice's business. They were just really happy with what it was doing for their health, for her daughter's health. She was actually diagnosed at 17 with diabetes. So their whole life had to be, switched around. And, we never know how we're going to impact people's lives when we talk about Juice Plus, when we let people know what we're doing. And, Chloe forever changed my life, and for sure the life for my family, the path that we were on. Just really by mentioning Juice Plus, that word to me, and Kurt Beavers would call it a Kairos moment, and it truly was. So for about 13 years, I was quite passive and inconsistent with the attention that I paid to my virtual franchise. I was really a raving fan customer. I loved it. I have 2 Juice Plus babies, so that's 2 pregnancies, 5 years of nursing. So, I was a solid customer. And I liked that I could actually offset my costs. That was important for me at that time for sure. But about 4 years ago, I literally drew a line in the sand, and I said, that's it. And I made the decision to work my business. And now that's a Sean Myers, if you've ever heard him talk, that's something he always talks about. And I think that, sometimes we need to get to a place where our back is against the wall, where we need to make that tough decision and go, all right, I'm in. And really all I did was intentionally connect with other like-minded people. So like moms and trainers, other health nuts like myself, and what I discovered was that I was meeting a lot of really cool people. I love working with people. I love talking with people. I love learning about people. And so I learned that this wasn't work at all. Like, this was my bliss. I was like, this is the coolest thing. So in 2010, I attended a boot camp. And I remember, this was a real fire starter for me, but I remember being outside in the outdoors under beautiful clear blue skies. It was about 2 hours north of where I live. And I was doing yoga beside Karen and Pete Ward, and I was like so smitten. I was like, oh my gosh, like they're like, that's Karen and Pete Ward, and I'm doing yoga on a mat beside them. It was cool. It was the coolest thing. And I also got to hear Dr. David Phillips speak. And as a fitness trainer, that blew my mind, because that was the first time I heard him talk. And I thought, like, he does a phenomenal talk. And I just, that really hit me. But what also happened was that I very, very accidentally heard someone say that they believed in me. So thank you, Carrie Daigle, because that was a turning point for me. I remember walking out of that boot camp knowing that I was welcomed if I so chose to be. Okay, and that's a really big thing, because you come into a Prevention Plus or a regional, and we have the best people in our company, and it's really just a question of whether we want to be a part of it. But all I saw around me were happy and healthy and excited people who really, really cared about making a difference. And I just thought, these are my kind of people. Like, I'm where I'm supposed to be. So this was brilliant, because remember, I've always been a server. As a trainer, that's what we do, is we build people up. And I just felt so blessed that I was in a place that felt so comfortable. So I returned home, and I knew that this was my chance for my family. Financially we were struggling, and you got that Eminem has that song, you got one shot. Well, you know what? I was awake enough that weekend at that boot camp to realize that this was it. And I also knew that my vision was really big, and it was. Okay, so from my gut, I knew that I wanted to make a difference in my community. I wanted to help bring families home together to enjoy more time together, and I wanted to help children have their parents at home with them. So this is near and dear to my own heart, and I knew that this vision was impossible without teams. So I really set out to build one, and you know what? We did it. Like one leads to two, leads to four, right? We all know how this business works. And I couldn't believe that before I knew it, we had a team, a community of people that were like-minded and so bonded together to make a difference. And, we created what I think is a gift shop, and not just for our customers, but for our team. And what we did essentially was we pulled everybody's resources together and their talents and, all the little things that they could offer. And we put it up for everybody to pull in from and take from. And it was the coolest thing. And, it was so cool to see everybody rise and shine and kind of come into their own and discover who they were in this. And I swear, I would wake up and I had to pinch myself, because I thought, this is my dream come true. Like, this is it. It was phenomenal. And, I remember just kind of feeling like I was on cloud nine, thinking like, I can't believe that this just happened. Like, little old me. And I'm in amongst all these amazing things going on that, how we're impacting and making a big, big difference. So, I have some incredible leaders that I'm so proud to work with. And they're not just teammates. Like, this is family, this is my husband and our two children, and we get together as a team, or even just I'll get together with one teammate, and then, it's just amazing how, we all work together, but how amazing it is that we get to build and find new friends in this, and lifetime friendships is what I'm talking about here. So really what we did is we just did a lot of wellness parties. We did a lot of local events. We did a lot of road trips, which was fun, because twist my rubber arm it was like a girls' night out. So it was a whole lot of fun. And, really by casting a little bit of vision and a whole lot of passion, I discovered how much this Juice Plus journey was really, it wasn't work at all. It was an opportunity that was far greater than what I could ever imagine. So I've always believed that it's important to honor the mission of this company, and that is the heart of who we are. So it's kind of funny because my team would always joke that, like, if you want to know about numbers, don't go to Jen, but if you're looking for a good talk, she's all heart, go to her. And, and I'll actually kind of interject there and say, don't get worried about the numbers. I think sometimes when, we have a new teammate that comes in and they want to understand like every little part of the numbers, and you don't have to know all that. I'm a really good example of that. The understanding will come later. Trust the system, trust those big, beautiful computers in Memphis that kind of tally everything up, and just focus on, learning what you need to know about building your own belief in yourself and in the company and the industry and the product. So we had an incredibly fast-growing team, and really, I mean, I hit NMD in 2014 and 50 Club that same year in the fall. So it was, more often than not, I think I felt uncomfortable with a lot of it sometimes, and I can be an extrovert, but when I need to be, but I really have a lot of introvert needs, and so I found myself completely stepping out of my comfort zone a lot, probably a lot more than I wish to be. And I'll just kind of say that it's really good to remember that we have all types of people who are attracted to this business and who come into this business, and, from the extroverts and the introverts. And I believe that each one of them needs to be celebrated in their own way. So here's to us, like introverted turtles rocking this business with success too, because, it's about embracing, and finding out where people are. So while all this fast growth was happening in my team, I often felt very overwhelmed with what I had to do, what I was expected to do, what I should be doing, what I wasn't doing, and even the perception of what was happening, what was really happening. And at the same time that was happening, my team leaders began to follow their own direction. And this kind of left me feeling a little lost and wondering, okay, so like, what's my job now? And, what's my role? Because we were tight. It was a really tight, beautiful team. But we were small. That's why it was tight, right? And I think that's where the growth happens, is that when your team explodes, it's no longer going to be, so tight like that. And so as my team leaders began to branch off, what it did, and it was amazing because of course they had successful businesses, they had their own ballistas that they were following, and so it was a wonderful thing. It's a good problem to have, as they say, but it also created a fragmented team. So suddenly we were no longer working like this, like a rowboat rowing in the same direction. Everybody was kind of dispersed and doing their own thing, and that, I mean, this is my journey, but that left me feeling like I was failing because this is a new place for me and I wasn't sure, where this leads me. So as a leader, I really questioned every aspect of my business, from the team, from the mission, and probably worst of all, I questioned myself. So now I'm back at square one, right? And it was a really, really incredibly humbling place for me to be, and it was difficult, because it was a challenge. So I remember, there was a glimpse of light for me one morning. I kind of had and I sat with a teammate, and I hadn't seen her in quite some time, and we just sat in her living room having tea, connecting and catching up, and she said, "It's nice to see you're back, Jen." And I thought, what is she talking about, So I asked her, what do you mean by that? And she said, well, you know what, you've been so busy and disconnected for so long that it's just nice to have you back, the one with heart. And I nearly, I was blown away. And I remember tears welling up in my eyes, and I just thought, whoa, because her words meant so much to me at a time when I felt lost as a leader, and I was really unsure about where I was going. And she showed me just true friendship. And, this wasn't business. This was pure, kind friendship that she was showing. She cared, she cared enough to kindly say, hey, Jen, like, you know, where have you been at? And like I'm glad you're back. And I realized that, you know, she was right. You know, I think that again, because everything happened so fast, I think I did. Not I think I know I did lose sight. You know, I got lost in it all, and not on purpose. And, you know, I never intentionally did anything bad. Nothing bad, horrible happened. But the worst thing that happened was that I disconnected, and I'll say this: it wasn't just an individual thing. I think as a team, we all got disconnected, and so this business isn't about numbers or titles or egos or popularity or anything like that. And, you know, the moment that, you know, if you can catch yourself before all of those things happen, because it's easy to get lost in it all, right? It's about relationships, and it will always be about relationships. I remember saying in my NMD speech how this business is like a roller coaster ride, and it is, you know. But when that roller coaster ride feels like it's going too fast, it probably is too. So what I've learned, and this just works for me, you know, I don't consider myself a hustler or a trailblazer in this business by any means. But when the roller coaster feels like it's going too fast for me, I like to step off and get perspective, take a breath, check in with myself to make sure that I'm on the path that I'm supposed to be on for Jennifer Owen. And you know what? That's what I needed to do then. So this was a massive turning point for me personally. I literally did take a step away to reevaluate why I said yes to this business in the first place. I needed to reevaluate my relationships, my actions. I needed to focus back on getting, you know, to remember why I said yes, my reason, my why, my passion, my mission in this Juice Plus journey. And, you know, this time was really important for my team's success. Of course, right? I mean, that, you know, the organization is not going to grow if the leader is stuck. But more importantly, it was crucial for me as an individual, okay? And that's outside of this business. So this business is an extension of who we are, and it will present opportunities for personal growth. I mean, that is what our business is. And the kicker is that if we're up for it, we're going to take the challenge. So if you're in it for the wrong reasons, you won't last. And I can't tell you how many times I heard that saying before, like throughout the years. I heard that all the time. And I used to kind of wonder, okay, so whatever that means. And then I got it. Because it's really easy to throw your hands up in the air and say, all right, it doesn't work, I can't do this, I'm out of here. Because it's $50 on the line, right? That's nothing to lose. And you know what, if you're stuck at, you know, VF or whatever, what do you got to lose? It's not a whole lot. But I can tell you this, the ones who succeed, the longevity team, they learn to bravely embrace those personal challenges that are put forward in front of them. And they're the ones that succeed. And I remember chatting with Mick Daly at the Nashville conference and about all this. And we agreed that, you know, when a hurdle is placed in front of you, we have the choice to either face it or ignore it. So some of us step over because we're just not ready to deal with it right now. And a little bit of time goes on, so another hurdle, this time a little bit bigger, presents itself. It's that same hurdle, but this time we're like, I'm going to jump over it this time. I'm not ready for that. And then time goes on, but that hurdle comes back around again, and this time it's higher. And we're like, all right, I'm going to walk around that one because that's way too much for me to handle right now. That hurdle will continue presenting its ugly little face until we are brave enough to deal with it. And, you know, it's really tough because sometimes, most times, all the time, those hurdles are about us owning our truth, facing our truth. And they'll help us to be a better person. And it's really difficult sometimes to take that hurdle on. But I promise you, if you're brave enough and ready and courageous enough to do it, you will become a better person, a brighter person for everybody. You'll shine and glow and shimmer and sparkle. And when you do overcome it, you're going to be like, la! Like, it'll be like this light in your life, and you'll be so amazed that, oh my gosh, I did it. And you'll be like free. It's very liberating. The elephant is off your back. So I challenge you, take those hurdles, okay? And just do it. Don't give up. Just, take a deep breath and know and trust and believe in yourself that you can do it. So when I reflect on my 16 years with the Juice Plus company, I got to begin with heart. I mean, Chloe, my diabetic client who shared it with me way back then, she had zero motive for sharing Juice Plus with me. Okay, she was just a CHS kid. Her mom was just a customer. When I decided to work this business, I did it for the love of my family. We were financially struggling, and I knew that this was a chance for us. And then, of course, when I attended that boot camp and every conference since then, and Prevention Plus and Regional and this even, my gosh, I'm feeling the love through here. Like, we attract the best people, and we're surrounded by very heart-centered people. So do you see the theme here? We are totally all heart, this company. It's no joke when they say this company with a heart, because we are. And when I look back on my journey, I have so much gratitude for all the people that I've met and incredible friends. And I got to say, like, I have friends who have never given up on me. My number one, I'm going to say, is Zvonko. For 13 years, I sat on this business. I remember I was just that happy customer. And I remember, so Zvonko moved to Belgrade, and I live in Canada. So, whenever he would come to Canada, he would always make the trek up to Barrie. And he would sit with me at my kitchen table. My children would be like crawling under the table all around. The dogs are like running around. It was kind of chaos. And he would just talk with me and learn about, so where are you at? Where are you guys at? As a family, and where's Jen at? And he would share with me any Juice Plus news. He would encourage me to attend events and to plug in. And I would be like, I'm good, Zvonko, I'm good. Because I just wasn't ready or whatever, right? And timing is everything for this business, but he never, ever, ever gave up. I was not even a qualified VF, and he would make that trek up to Barrie all the time, every single time, every visit, just to check in. So, you know what, if you've got some sleepers on your team, check in with them to see how they're doing, and just make sure that, the timing might change for them. And if I can just add to that as well, plugging in is so important. It's not up to anybody to do it for you. It's up to us to do it. And so when the business isn't working, it's not about us kind of pointing the finger saying, oh, well, this doesn't work because this, and this doesn't work because he or she. It's not about that at all. It's, are we plugging in to fill our fuel tank? So I also have been blessed to work with, some incredible first-generation leaders like the Daigles and the Beavers and the Myers and the Burdick's, and Karen Fowler is amazing, and Gordon Hester, Jeff Roberti, and you, my friend, Courtney O'Donnell. Thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of this. And I'm going to say here that, you're an incredible mentor to me. But you're a friend, and a friend when I really needed it. And we all have that in this company, And my team, I got to give you guys a big shout out here, I get to work with the best people. I mean, really, we all do. I have beautiful friendships in this business who I never would have met. I mean, I've got frontline that I didn't even know 3 years ago. And I've got deep friendships with people who are so deep in my organization. And how could this be? How fortunate am I to have this kind of Juice Plus family around me? And anybody who knows my story knows how valuable my having this family is. We're not all blessed with it, and So, my heart is so full with what this business has done, not just for me, but for what it gives to my Charlie, my husband, and our two daughters, Avery and Claire. because we are a family. Our team is a family. Our business is a family. And so in setting vision for growing a strong and stable business, I see my leadership role, and I'm telling you, this is so new and fresh and yet so old and comfortable, because I've got this little voice inside my head that says, let's have more fun. Let's really connect. Let me dig a little deeper to understand why she said yes. And please, God, help me to understand why He's doing things this way. And what can I do to help Sally and her team become successful? Let's get out of the PDC reports. Let's get back to building those genuine relationships. We don't need to be the expert. We don't need to have the most experience. People don't care. People don't know how much we care until we actually show them how much we care. And so I just want to close with this, okay? I used to call myself the lighthouse all the time. Because, people would come to me and, get ready to get started with Juice Plus or the business. But I'm officially declaring here that I am now the watering hole. And the reason is, this sounds kind of goofy, but the watering hole is a place where people come to drink and to fuel up. And everyone is welcome to join in on my watering hole, because I share with an open and humble heart full of gratitude and love. And I thank you all for plugging in. Courtney, thank you. Blessings to you all.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to leave you unmuted for a second. You guys, raw, real, authentic.